Hi, David, they call me MacGyver. Today I'm going to show you how to put a sand bed down before you put your shower pan down in a shower. And we'll be using a product, it's a sand top mix, and it's got concrete in it, and you just add water. And you want to mix it so it's pretty dry. You don't want a real sloppy wet mix. So I'll be showing you how to mix that and how to set the pan. So hang tight and we'll get started. So this is the sand topping mix. You can get it Home Depot for it's under $7, and you just add clear cold water. I put that in a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm going to add the sand topping mix to it, and I'll make sure that I have more sand than I probably need, because we want this to be a fairly dry mixture. So I put it in there and we'll get mixing it. I've got a little mixer that I use for sheetrock mud that I use to mix this sand with. It's just kind of a little loop on the end, 90-degree elbow thing that mixes it pretty good, and we'll be moving it up and down to try to get that dry mixed into the water that's there, because I put the water on the bottom. Some of the water came up to the top, but most of it's down on the bottom, so we stir it and mix it and move it up and down and try to mix it all in there. And it's a little more difficult to mix this a dry substance that is a wet, muddy, like a concrete mixture, because there's more moisture to get all over the powder. But we don't want to get it too wet, so we'll just do it that way. But it's a little dry, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to it and see if we can't get it to stir up here. It'll be a little easier to get it mixed in with it being wet like this. And then if I need to add a little bit more dry powder on top of it, I can. A little more sand mixture. That sand mixture actually has concrete in it, so we want it to be dry, because we don't want it to lose its shape once we put it underneath the pan. We want it to hold its shape, and then as that concrete sets, it will keep that pan in a permanent position rather than being able to flex with the bottom of the pan. So we do a little bit more mixing here, up and down, and I run the thing down low and up high. We're going to add a little bit more dry mixture to it because it's just a little bit too wet. Just need a little bit more, and I started with almost a full bag, and what I've dumped in from the second bag, it's probably pretty comparable to a full bag, which is a 60-pound bag of the sand top mix. So just to kind of give you an idea of about how much you're going to need to use for a pan. We'll get it mixed in here and get that dry stuff all mixed in there. So we've got it. Looks like it's going to be just about right here when I get it all mixed up, that it'll probably be just about the consistency that we want to use it at. Just keep running that around the edges and all the way down, and then move it up and down and move that dry down into the moisture. So just about done here. It does take a little bit longer to mix than the wet stuff, but at least when it's all done, it'll be the right consistency so it doesn't lose its shape once we put it down underneath the pan. I think I did say earlier you can use mortar, but I just prefer to use this sand topping mixture. I'm going to go ahead and pour it down here underneath where the pan's going. You can see I've got those slats there. That was to level it out. The right side is about a ½ inch lower than what the left side is. And so I'll take a rake and I'll move this around here. There's actually a lot more mixture there than what it looks like in my pile. We wanted about 1 inch over the top of those shims, that tapered shim, so that when we put the pan down, it'll actually go up inside the little rings that are on the bottom of that pan, and not just, we want it to sit onto the pan, not just onto the rings. And that's why I'm covering it over the top of those tapered slats that I put in there. We'll get it moved over, and then there's those rings are probably 8 to 10 inches apart underneath the pan, so it doesn't cover the full area. I think there's only about 5 or 6 of them that go underneath each row of those stringers. Get this build up here a little bit. Just about ready to grab the pan and start getting it leveled out. We'll push this back up there a little bit, and then we'll grab the pan. Okay, so we'll grab the pan, we'll put it in here. You need to be careful when you're putting this down over that drain doesn't catch on the ABS pipe. So I'm going to stick my hand down in there and kind of guide it up through. Right there. Make sure it goes up through the center of that. Kind of shift it around here and make it centered. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but a little tight. We'll get it in there. There we go. Oh, yeah. Now we'll grab our levels and we'll start leveling, making sure we're level across the back. Tap it down a little bit there. Get a level over on this side, making sure it's level from the front to the back. Making sure it's sitting down there into that sand mix. Looks like this is a little bit high up here on this front corner. I'm going to get a block of wood and my big rubber mallet and tap it down. That's just so that I don't leave black marks on my pan hitting it with that black rubber mallet. I got a block of wood there. Just needs a little bit more. Okay, now it looks like I took it down a little bit too much. We'll see if I can tap it back down on this other end. No, I'm going to have to lift this corner up and reach my hand under and pull some of that sand mix up to this corner. I tapped it down just a little bit too far. So we'll get it up, built back up here. Yeah, that came up a little bit. Tap it back in. It's a little tedious, but making sure it's level now will pay off dividends in years to come. Last pan I had in here, because the floor wasn't level, had a pool that would form between the drain and the right side there, and it ended up causing hard water stains on the pan, so that's why we traded it out here. Getting it real close. All right, got it. Hopefully that was helpful to you. If you haven't ever set a shower pan, getting that sand mix and spreading it out to get that support under the pan is important so that you don't have it creaking all over the place. Also helping you get it level so you don't have pockets of water forming on your pan and staining your pan. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you will, and you have a great day.